I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to our podcasts, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. We're talking today about how to beat those sugar cravings. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you rapid fire ways that you can break your sugar cravings, because this is a big issue. Everybody has this question. They don't know what to do about it. So you want to avoid things like what we started talking about, double agents. Now, if you have oatmeal or yogurt, and many times people think that's health food, read the ingredients. Instant oatmeal oftentimes has a ton of sugar in it, sometimes up to 3 teaspoons of sugar added to just a little packet of oatmeal. Yogurt, another sneaky way to get sugar in there. Sugar-filled stuff is like candy in disguise. Yogurt does have some naturally occurring sugar if you sweeten it with fruit, but the fruit has sugar too, so now you got a double whammy. These aren't the culprits. The fruit and flavored yogurts often contain added sugar in the form of sucrose, high fructose corn syrup. So be careful about that. Just read the ingredients. And if something tastes really sweet, it's probably too much sugar. Now, one of the things I want you to understand, right now you're a sugar addict, like most people are. And the reason is when you put sugar in the body, it stimulates the pleasure centers in your brain. It releases dopamine, and you're getting high. Right before I came into the studio, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and this is what we talked about. He said, Doc, I don't know if I could ever give up the sugars, man. He talked about working out and what to eat from a workout. And in my one book, A Prescription for Extreme Health, we have a whole chapter just for athletes. And if you eat sugar up to 3 hours after your workout, you wasted a lot of the benefits from the workout, because sugar suppresses your body's production of human growth hormone. And human growth hormone is the thing that builds muscle and makes you strong. So if you are eating sugar, you're not producing as much human growth hormone. So you're really kind of wasting a lot of your workout, which is really a shame. So don't eat any sugar up to 3 hours after your workout. After that, you shouldn't eat it anyway. So that's what we were talking about. But he says, but I love my sugar, Doc. He says, right after working out, I like to go home and have a bowl of cereal. And I said, well, you just wasted a lot of your workout time, your workout energy, because the cereal has sugar. He goes, yeah, but it's fiber cereal. I said, it still has a lot of sugar in it. So read the ingredients. If anything that has OSE, the last letters, OSE, fructose, glucose, maltose, galactose, OSE means sugar. So it should have simple to read ingredients. A good rule is if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Or even a better rule is if it has a label on it, don't eat it, because it probably has processed. But you got to realize where you're getting the sugar from. And when you eat it, stimulates the pleasure centers in your brain, you want more sugar. What you need to do is cut back your sugar. It's going to take at least 3 days of going through your withdrawal. And with no sugar, no added sugar for 3 days, then you're going to be able to avoid the sugar. I used to joke that I can't eat a cookie. I could eat a box of cookies, but I can't eat a cookie. Because once I have that cookie in my body, I want more cookies. But after a while, you really get to the point where you can just say, you know, I'm fine. Everybody else is eating it. I'm good. I don't really need that. Went to a luncheon the other day, and it was nice. I said, I'm a vegan. They said, okay. So they brought us some grilled veggies. And of course, everyone, ooh, yours looks so great. I just have a piece of fish, and yours looks great. And mine was great. And then they brought out ice cream for dessert. And the waiter went to put it in front of me. I said, no, thank you. And he says, can we get you a bowl of berries? And I said, yes, that would be lovely. And so he got me some blueberries and raspberries and blackberries, and they were spectacular. And everyone eating the ice cream went, oh man, I wish I had done that. So if you don't put the sugar in, you're going to lose the cravings, and then you're able to make better decisions. Now, we talked about how fructose has to be processed in your liver. I really want you to love your liver. Your liver does a lot more than filter out the body's toxins. It also plays a vital role for your sugar cravings. A healthy liver plays a key role in regulating blood sugar levels. High blood sugar levels can leave you hungry. You can't concentrate, you're confused, you're emotionally volatile, you're angry, absolutely doing what? Craving sugar. So if your liver is healthy, you're in good shape. If you're eating a lot of fructose, it has to be processed in the liver. Too much stress on the liver can cause the liver to become fatty. Now, when I went to school, if we did a dissection on a cadaver, and we cut somebody open, and they had a fatty liver, the answer to the test was, why does he have fatty liver? It was what? Alcoholism. Right, exactly. Now, we have something called non-alcoholic fatty liver. And non-alcoholic fatty liver occurs in people that eat a lot of sugar. And in fact, we're finding non-alcoholic fatty liver in children as young as 5. Wow. Folks, we're in deep trouble. If we don't change our diets and our society as a whole, we're just going to become sicker and sicker and sicker. And the nice part is it's cheaper and easier to eat good than it is to eat bad. But when you eat the bad foods, they stimulate the pleasure centers. There's actually a science called, it's a food science branch, where scientists study how we can get you to buy more food. How can I get you to eat more chips? How can I get you to like this ice cream better? And one of the simplest things they do is add fructose to it, high fructose corn syrup. It's cheap, it's sweet, stimulates the pleasure centers in your brain, makes you hungry. What do you want to do? You want to eat the thing that got you high. Another thing we have to do, we got to look at our gut bacteria. The gut bacteria play a surprising role in setting off your food cravings. So keep them healthy with the right foods. Honey is a prebiotic food. Now, it does have some fructose in it, but only about 35%, but it's a prebiotic. Prebiotics feed the good bacteria. Other foods that have probiotics include probiotics and prebiotics, asparagus, bananas, eggplant, garlic, kefir. I do a coconut kefir, and even yogurt. But watch out for the secret sugars in the yogurt. And here's the thing. You're going to take a yogurt and you're going to say, this has probiotics in it, so I'm going to eat it. But when we make yogurt, most commercial yogurts are pasteurized before they're sold. They're made, pasteurized, and sold. They measure the bacteria levels when they're made, not after they're pasteurized. So a lot of the good bacteria, most of them, are being killed off. I take Dr. Joe's probiotics, and it's on the website, drjoe.com, and the probiotics are good bacteria, and they help colonate your colon. And if you have healthy bacteria, that's a good thing. If you eat a lot of antibiotics, if you eat a lot of bad sugars, you can kill off the good bacteria in your colon, but it doesn't kill off something called yeast. Now, yeast and bacteria live in your colon happily together, but if the bacteria start to die off, the yeast aren't affected by antibiotics. The yeast like sugar. So where sugars are killing off the good bacteria, sugar is feeding the yeast. And now the yeast start to multiply. And then the yeast say, I'm bored. I don't want to live here anymore. Let's go somewhere else where it's warm and moist that we can set up camp. And so the yeast can be absorbed into your blood system through little holes in your colon, get into your blood system, travel around, and set up shop in some place that's warm and moist. So where might that be? Your crotch, woman's private parts, your fanny, your feet, your mouth, your armpits. If you're fat, your rolls of fat. And that now we have a systemic yeast infection. Very, very dangerous. Because the yeast can get into the cells and cause abnormal cell function. So how do you know you have a yeast infection? Well, you can come to our office and we can do a test. We can give you a sample kit that you can take home and we can test you for it. But here's what I want you to do first. I want you to save some money first. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, put a clear glass of water next to your bed. We'll do it tonight. Okay? When you wake up tomorrow, get a big mouthful of spit into the glass. You can wait up to an hour. And if you start to see little tentacles start coming down like a jellyfish, that's usually a sign of a systemic yeast infection. If you have that, come see us and we'll do a more advanced test to find out if you really do have it or not. If the spit floats on the top, chances are you don't have the yeast. You don't have to waste your money. But if you do find that, I want you to invest your money. Come see us. We'll do some tests on you and see if you have the systemic yeast infection. If you do, we're going to put you on a very strict protocol to get rid of the yeast because the yeast can be deadly. You can't jerk around with yeast. So if you have it, don't ignore it. There's something wrong. So we're talking today about how to get rid of your sugar cravings. If you have a yeast infection, you're going to crave more sugar because the yeast wants that sugar. And so you start to crave it to feed the yeast, which makes the yeast more productive and prolific, and then you eat more sugar. So one of the reasons you may not be able to stop eating sugar is because of a yeast infection. And if you have that, it's a lot more than just, hey, too much sugar. Here's a little trick you might want to try. A little chocolate can satisfy you. Chocolate is a great way to train your brain to prefer less sweet foods because there's a wide variety of chocolate sold. Chocolate up to 85%, it'll say 85% on it. You want to have it 85% or higher as a good dark chocolate. If you're going to do chocolate, it's got to be organic and it's a small amount. As your preference moves towards darker chocolate, your tastes are going to be sculpted so you won't even want the old junk. How much chocolate can you eat? The tip of your thumb, that's the piece that you can eat. And by eating that, It's going to start to curb some of your cravings. And also chocolate has something in it called phenylethylamines. Phenylethylamines are neurotransmitters that are produced in your brain when you're in love. So by taking a little bit of chocolate, it's going to stimulate the phenylethylamines and you're going to get satisfied. And what happens with sugar? You want to eat more. You're never satisfied. So a little piece of organic dark chocolate, that's it. You can't eat more than that. If you do it, it's not Dr. Joe approved. Another way you can help crave those sugar cravings, eat fat. Okay, curb those sugar cravings. Eat fat. Indulging in sugar cravings is only going to set you up for further failure. High sugar foods cause blood sugar spikes, leading to insulin imbalances, which cause the blood sugar to drop, which cause you to crave more sugar. So follow us down a rabbit hole and you get into this nasty downward cycles of cravings, spikes, more sugar. Instead, satisfy your cravings with healthy fats. Fat doesn't raise your insulin level, but fat makes you feel full. This is one of the things that went wrong when we went on the low-fat craze. We had these cookies and cakes and donuts that were low-fat, and everybody was eating them like crazy, and you weren't satisfied because it was sugar, and so you ate more. So when you eat something fatty, it makes you feel full. Insulin doesn't acknowledge fat, and so that's just the way we want it. So what you want to do is have about 2 servings of healthy fats, like avocado, olive oil, with every meal. Have something fatty. The other thing I want you to do with fats, when you have your salad once a day, and I want you to have a salad once a day, if you put some fat in the salad dressing, the fat is going to help you absorb vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. Now, if you listen to last week's show, we talked a lot about fat absorption and how that works. But if you have a fat-free dressing on a salad, you're going to be starving. If you add some fat to the dressing or an avocado to the salad and maybe some nuts, you're going to feel a lot fuller and you're going to eat a lot less food and you're going to get a lot more nutrients. So fat can be good, just make sure it's good fat. You don't want to eat steak fat. You don't want to eat hydrogenated oils. You don't want to use corn oil or vegetable oils because those oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids. And omega-6 fatty acids increase the inflammation in your body. Avocados, olive oil, omega-9s, much better, doesn't increase the inflammation. That's a very simple thing. Now, also in Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, well, especially the Essential Super Greens, we add chlorella and spirulina, which is the purest form of omega-3 fatty acids in the world. If you're going to do fish fatty acids for omega-3s, I don't like that. And the reason I don't like it is you run the risk of mercury toxicity. So I don't like fish oil for omega-3 fatty acids. Krill oil is a better choice. Algae oil is the best choice. Algae is a little more expensive, but we put it in the Super Greens because I want you to only get the best. And here's the thing, folks. I take the Super Greens Essential Source every day. So why would I put something in there that wasn't the best? I know what the best is. And I put it in there for me and for my staff and for my patients. I want you to have that same benefit. And this is another thing that's going to help your sugar cravings. I don't know if a day goes by where somebody doesn't tell me, Dr. Joe, I started taking Super Greens and Essential Source and I have no more sugar cravings. What's in that stuff? It's nutrients. And when the body gets the nutrients, it's able to deal with these cravings. And so Super Greens and Essential Source is a great way to help beat your sugar cravings. And I have patients tell us every day, Doc, I can't afford not to take this stuff. It's relatively inexpensive. And they say, Doc, when I take it, I eat less food, I feel better, I have more energy, I'm working harder, my life is so much better. I don't know how I live without it. So that's, if you want to get I think you should, folks. They're on the website, drjoe.com. Or if you want to come by our offices, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. You can pick up the supplements and you don't have to pay shipping. Because I have no desire to pay the post office. If I don't have to, I'd rather pass the savings on to you. So if you go to website, drjoe.com, you can get our addresses, you can call and make sure you get our hours are there, and you can come in and pick them up. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, and I think you should, because every day people come in and say, why didn't I do this sooner? I suffered for so long. How come nobody ever told me about this? The answer is, I don't know, now you're knowing. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. I truly believe if the world got chiropractic care, we would reduce our healthcare costs exponentially because people would start getting healthier. Their nervous system would work better. Their digestive system would work better. They'd feel better. And so it's really a good thing you might want to consider. So go to the website, drjoe.com. You can make an appointment right now. You can always call us if you need to, if you have questions. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, workers' comp. We want to get you well and keep you well. And I don't want you suffering needlessly. So stop suffering. Go to website, drjoe.com. We'll get you set up as soon as possible. So we're talking today about kicking the sugar habit. I want you to start to read labels. Know the difference between marketing and nutrition. The food industry spends billions of dollars a year to encourage people to buy their products. But many times foods marketed as healthy, particularly encourage sales and therefore have greater toxins in them. People buy more, they feel better. They don't feel better. They get high from it, so they want to eat more. And so read the labels. Research shows that people who eat more of a food, they will eat more of the food if they perceive that it can be healthy. And I talked about this before with snack bars. This snack bar has as much sugar as a donut and a half, actually. Wow, that's a lot of sugar. So if you're going to do a snack bar, maybe you can make your own snack bars. Maybe you could take some coconut oil and some raisins and some oatmeal. Maybe mix it together. You can, if you toast it, you're going to destroy some of the nutrients. But if you mix it together and pat it into a bar, coconut oil, by the way, is going to harden at about 76, 74 degrees, and you can eat it that way. Or just eat nuts, even better, because that has everything in it. So eating too much of even healthy foods is a problem. One of the things we have to worry about is volume. Don't eat more than you need to. And a lot of times, healthy foods are anything but healthy. They're advertised as healthy. So for instance, the flavor that you lose from taking the fat out of the yogurt when you make it low fat is often replaced with, can you guess it? Sugar. Yeah, so just because something's low fat, that doesn't mean it's good for you. Do a quick scan of the ingredient label when making food purchases. If you have trouble deciphering the nutrition label, remember this. We said it earlier. OSE means sugar. So at the end of the word, fructose, glucose, maltose, OSE means sugar. If you find high fructose corn syrup, and then later in a container, it may have another OSE in it. It may have another OSE in it. So be careful with that. Anything with sugar, rice syrup, corn syrup, any OSE, fructose, sucrose, these are the ones, if they're the first three ingredients, you want to avoid that product because it's nothing but sugar, well, mostly nothing but sugar, and not a good idea. Something that drove me nuts the other day, in fact, it was just today before I came to the studio. I was watching TV, and they had a commercial for this drink that kids can drink. Well, I wasn't gaining weight properly, and I wasn't tall enough, so my mom gave me this drink. And it has omega-3 fatty acids in it. And it has vitamins and minerals and nutrients. And it had 27 grams of omega-3 fatty acids in it. That's almost nothing. Milligrams, I think it was, yeah. That's almost nothing. So did it have omega-3 in it? Absolutely. They didn't say what form it was in. It was at ALA, DHA, EPA, where it came from. Is it toxic? Is it certified not mercury-free? And it's nothing. You should do about 500 to 1,000 units of omega-3 fatty acids a day. And here it's saying 27. It has vitamins and minerals. And when I looked at it, it has synthetic vitamins and minerals. So here you are saying, oh, my kid needs to gain weight, my kid needs to grow, I'm going to give him this drink and it's going to be great. Oh my gosh, no. And a lot of those have artificial sweetener in them too, which is a whole other story, which we're not going to have time for today. Get more in depth into reading your labels. There's two reasons why people don't know how to read labels, okay? And that's an issue. First, there are 56 names for sugar, and the food industry and the labels often use all of them. What they'll often do is use a different kind of sugar specifically to lower the amount of one given sugar so that it goes further down the ingredient list. So they'll use multiple different types of sugar and put it later on. It's a sneaky trick manufacturers use. And so that sugar isn't the first thing people see, but there's 5 other types of sugar later on. You can have different sugars for different ingredients. Down number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, way down the list. But if you add them up, then it becomes the number 1 ingredient, too much sugar. So they list the total sugars, but not the added sugar. Like a plain yogurt, for example. Again, I don't do dairy products, but a plain yogurt has about 7 grams of naturally occurring lactose. That's a sugar, OSE. Remember OSE? That's the fructose that matters, and that's what's in the added sugar. So it has some sugar, but then they added extra. Fruit-flavored yogurt can have 19 grams of sugar, meaning it has 12 grams of added sugar. So that's a lot of sugar. And when it comes to sugar, here's your goal. You want to have 40 grams or less of net carbs. So how do we do this? If you're going to read the label, you want to get sophisticated, figure out how many grams of carbs there is in something. All right, something has 20 grams of carbs. Okay. Now remember, you want 40 for a whole day. You're going to have one thing with 20. It's an awful lot. But now we subtract the fiber. So if we have 20 grams of carbs minus 10 grams of fiber that's in the ingredient, now we only have 10 net grams. Now we're kind of okay. But you want to do 40 or less. Now, is 40 or less hard? It is. But if you're serious about wanting to get well, you really want to limit that. That's why if you eat fruit, has fiber in it. Take an apple, eat it, has fiber. Juice that apple and drink it, no fiber, the net carbs go way up. And so if you're eating things that have this added sugar, even like a plain yogurt with a bunch of sugar in it, it's like eating a bowl of cereal. Now, the Food and Drug Administration is currently working to add a line on food labels for added sugar. I like this. The more information, the better, so you can make a better decision. Figure out what you're eating. You're supposed to enjoy a chocolate chip cookie. But if you're out of control and it starts to threaten your health, it's likely that you're going to overeat sweets for the same reason. You're going to get high from it. You're going to get pleasure. Two of the most common stress relief and emotional comfort things are what? Eating food, drinking alcohol. Understand why you're turning to sugar so you can help find healthier alternatives. How about exercise? Go for a walk. Here's the thing I want you to do, okay? You don't know what to do. Doc, I'm lost. Go to my website, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcasts there. Take those podcasts, get your phone, put it on your arm. Don't put it near your crotch. We talked about electromagnetic frequencies in the past. Go to my website to listen to those shows. Get an arm brace like I have. Put your phone in there. Go to my website and start listening to shows because I want to educate you. And what you're doing is as you're listening, you're going to go for a little walk. You're going to kind of forget you're walking. Oh, that was interesting. Dr. Joe, that's fun. You might even want to take notes. Some people bring notepads with them when they do this and write notes. And when you do that, now you're getting a little bit of exercise. When you start to exercise, it's going to help break your cravings. So if you can go for a 10, 20, 30-minute walk, if you still have those sugar cravings, something you might want to consider maybe then having the sugar. But before you do that, one more thing. I want you to get something, call our office. We have it on, it's not on the website. We have it at the office. It's called Gymnema, Gymnema. Now, whenever you have a sugar craving, I want you to take a Gymnema capsule and chew it. Doesn't taste good, but that's not why I want you to do it. Then try eating something sweet. It's going to have no flavor whatsoever. And now you're able to beat your sugar cravings. Again, it takes 3 or 4 days to get over your addiction. So the Gymnema is a wonderful little trick you can do to help get over the sugar cravings. And you could take it every day. It stabilizes your blood sugar. I give it to almost all my diabetic patients. But when you stabilize the blood sugar and you don't taste sweet, you're not going to eat as much. And that's really kind of cool. And I want you to think about yourself. I want you to love yourself more than you love the sugar. It's okay if you make a mistake. Oh my gosh, Dr. Joe, I screwed up. I had some cookies. Okay, stop, take a breath, forgive yourself, and move on. Next time, you can be your own best friend. You're going to be self-oriented, compassionate person, and it's going to be a key part of you want to get well. What's your goal? You may want to fight yourself when you have these urges because you have a goal. If your goal is to lose weight, if your goal is to look good in a bikini, if your goal is to maybe find a new partner. I want to start looking good, man. I'm single again. I want to get out there and start playing the field a little bit. You want to have more energy. You want to be able to chase your grandkids around. You want to enjoy your love life better. You're not exhausted at the end of the day. Write down your goals. And then the next time you pick up a sugar or one of these big coffees or something like that, is it worth it? The answer is always no. It's never worth it if it's going to prevent you from getting to your goal. So if you eat a whole cheesecake, you feel a little guilty or shameful because you didn't have the discipline to stop yourself from eating the whole thing. The truth is, you can get over that. More than you want that quick sugar fix. You have to say, okay, this is more important to me. And I want you to start thinking about, why am I doing this? What's self-destructive? So there's a little psychology that comes into play here too. And then also, if you're not digesting your food properly, if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, what you might want to do is come see us because chances are the stomach is pushed up against your diaphragm. And we at my team of doctors, I trained them to adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. And the reason I'm so good at this is I suffered with this for years. And when I knew my stomach was up against my diaphragm, when I finally figured out I couldn't stop eating. I would eat, my stomach would hurt, I just kept eating. And then I wanted something sweet, and I'd eat sweets. And once I pulled my stomach away from my diaphragm, I had my doctors do it, I was able to control my hunger and my cravings. Super Greens and Essential Source, great way to control the cravings. Everybody should be taking that anyway, and that's on the website, drjoe.com. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, chances are you're not digesting your food. Come see us and let us fix it. If you're suffering neck pain, back pain, headaches, scoliosis, numbness, tingling, your foot's dropping, your shoes are wearing out unevenly, you look in a mirror, one ear's higher than the other. You play sports. If you play sports, you're going to get hurt. Come see us and let us fix it. So many athletes come to see us, professional and amateur, because they understand if you have bones out of place, you're building up strong muscles around crooked bones. I want you building up strong muscles around straight bones. And that's where chiropractic comes in. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're tired of suffering, has it gotten to that point yet where you don't want to suffer anymore? You're tired of the headaches and affecting your love life and your home life and your work life? Go to my website and make an appointment, drjoe.com. And most people are very happy that they did. As long as you do what we say. People don't do what we say, they're not happy with the results. But we want to get your nervous system working, your digestive system working, and good nutrition. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. The website, drjoe.com. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WSBRadio.com and on a WSB Radio app.